We'll now call the meeting of the Peralta Community College District to order. Open
Madam
session.
President, you have a quorum.
Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen, can you do the readout?
Thank you. Good evening. At tonight's closed session, the board voted to ratify the appointment of the following public employee contracts, which are subject to contractual agreement by the Chancellor. These were all done on a vote of 7 ayes, 0 noes, and 0 abstentions, with no absences. The appointment of Lilia Chavez as Director of Student Activities and Campus Life, Merritt College, from July 15, 2015 through June 30, 2017 at $109,458 annually. Romeo Garcia as Interim Dean of Special Programs and Grants, Merritt College, July 15, 2015 through December 23, 2015, or until the position is filled on a regular basis at $120,405 annually. Paula Coyle as Interim Director of Student Activities and Campus Life, BCC, July 15, 2015 through December 23, 2015, or until the position is filled on a regular basis at $98,513. Ratification of Chancellor Ortiz's approval to appoint Josefina Baltodano as Acting Vice President of Student Services, Laney College, July 1, 2015, until the incumbent returns at $147,769 annually. The appointment of Ronald Little as Vice Chancellor of Finance and Administration, District Office, August 10, 2015 through June 30th, 2017 at $186,080 annually. Ratification of Chancellor Ortiz's approval to appoint Olivia Rocha, Interim Director of Facilities and Operations, District Office, from June 24, 2015 through December 23, 2015, or until the position is filled on a regular basis at $132,838 annually. Ratification of the Chancellor's approval to appoint Florentino Umbungen, excuse me if I mispronounced that, as Interim Director of Student Activities and Campus Life at COA from July 3 to December 23, 2015, or until the position is filled on a regular basis at $98,513. Let's see. Correction from the June 23, 2015 board meeting, recommendation to extend the appointment of Fumi Sayavong as Director of ANAPISI and APAS programs at Laney College, July 1, 2015 to June 30, 2017 at $103,985 annually. And that's it. Are any of these individuals present? If you are, if you could please stand and we could welcome you into your new positions. Well, welcome back, Mr. Garcia. Madam President, that concludes the closed session readout for this evening.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I believe Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen has a modification that we'll read before we take a motion.
Thank you. Under Agenda Item 9, and that has to do with the hiring of General Counsel, the reference, quote, "at the direction of the board," is stricken from the resolution itself and should be removed from the background material.
Do we have a motion regarding the approval of the agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded by a chorus of trustees. Can't distinguish the voices. We'll say moved by Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen and seconded by Trustee Withrow and Trustee Galassa. And Bonilla. We have harmony. We have harmony in this board. So all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is Chancellor Laguerre's welcome reception. And before we begin that welcome reception, I'd like to make a quick announcement. I'd like to welcome our former Chancellor Wise Allen and recognize him. And I would also like to say that we are, in addition to welcoming our Chancellor, we're also welcoming the District Academic Senate President and the Peralta Federation of Teachers President and our Classified Senate President. So I'll indulge myself, if you won't mind, and just read a quick introduction of those individuals, and then we will break for our reception. We'll suspend our open session and then resume following the reception. We'll take a quick 15-minute break for our reception. So I'd like to, while I have everyone's rapt attention, just let you know the wonderful people that we're celebrating here and that we have in our midst. There's, of course, our former Chancellor Wise Allen. And with respect to our new Chancellor, Dr. Joël Laguerre, I'd like to also thank the people that served on the Chancellor Search Committee who are here and all the time that has been put in by those who have contributed to this process. Dr. Laguerre is a native of Haiti and served as superintendent president of the Solano Community College District from 2009 to 2015. There he was responsible for many accomplishments, including supporting the Umoja program for African American students. He led a bond campaign to raise $348 million for new construction, facilities renovation, technology upgrades, and a new military veterans center. Dr. Laguerre is founder of the Solano County Education Initiative and the Vallejo Education for Business Alliance. He is also an honorary commander at Travis Air Force Base. Dr. Laguerre holds a PhD in Educational Leadership for College and University Administration, a Master's of Science in Education and School Administration, and a Master's of Arts in French Literature from the University of Kansas. He also earned a certificate in Mathematics and Physics Education from la Université d'État de Haiti, École Normale Supérieure, Port-au-Prince?
Université d'État d'Haïti, École Normale Supérieure, Port-au-Prince.
What he said. He was the 1988 U.S. Department of Education Krista McAuliffe Fellow for Kansas and was selected and recognized as Educator of the Year by the Montgomery County African American Chamber of Commerce. Previously, Dr. Laguerre was Vice President for Academic Affairs at Truckee Meadows Community College in Reno, Nevada, and was Executive Vice President for Academic and Student Services at Montgomery College in Maryland. He has also held academic and student services positions at Lake Superior College in Minnesota. Since 1978, he has taught English as a second language, French, Haitian Creole, physics, and mathematics. He has published a Haitian English dictionary and a McGraw-Hill Haitian phrase book. I am pleased to introduce our new Chancellor, Dr. Joël Laguerre. We'll let him do all the French translations from here on out. And we have our District Academic Senate President, Mr. Cleavon Smith. Is Mr. Smith here? There's Mr. Smith. Cleavon Smith grew up in Mississippi and is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy and served 5 years as a logistics officer and defense contract administrator in the Navy. After the inspiration he received taking an enrichment course at Foothill College, he left his corporate job and returned to school, receiving his MFA in creative writing and literature from Mills College. Mr. Smith began teaching at the College of Alameda and Merritt College in 2002 before being hired as a basic skills English instructor at Vista College, now Berkeley City College, in 2004. While at BCC, Mr. Smith was also the lead faculty member for the Early College Initiative Program with Aspire Public Schools and UC Berkeley Center for Educational Partnerships. He has been a Basic Skills Innovative Coordinator and College Academic Senate President. Mr. Smith also served as a Regional Coordinator for Professional Development for the California Community College's Success Network and a Program Committee member for the Strengthening Student Success Conference held annually by Research and Planning Group. He has volunteered for 10 years with the East Bay Agency for Children's Circle of Care, working with children suffering from family loss and terminal illness. Additionally, Mr. Smith has published short fiction and poetry and has had several short and full-length plays performed in the Bay Area. I am pleased to introduce our new District Academic Senate President, Mr. Cleavon Smith. And our Peralta Federation of Teachers President, Mr. Ed Jaramillo. Mr. Jaramillo, are you here? Mr. Ed Jaramillo has taught automotive technology at College of Alameda since 1989. Additionally, he has served on the College of Alameda Senate since 1999, and during his tenure on the Senate, Mr. Jaramillo served as Treasurer and Vice President. He has been a member of the Peralta Federation of Teachers Executive Council since 2000 and served as PFT Continuing Education Representative for several years. Mr. Jaramillo also served as the College of Alameda Campus Co-Chair. Mr. Jaramillo holds an AA degree in automotive technology from Chabot College and a BA General Studies from Indiana University School of Continuing Education. Previously, Mr. Jaramillo was the coordinator for the Toyota Technical Education Program known as T10, which was a partnership between Toyota Corporation and the College of Alameda. I am pleased to introduce the president of the Peralta Federation of Teachers, Mr. Ed Jaramillo. And last but not least, our classified Senate President, Mr. James Blake. James Blake started working as a duplication technician at Laney College's Instructors Media Center in 2009 and became a Laney Classified Senator in 2010. He was selected as Vice President of Laney Classified Senate in 2011 and President in 2012. As a member of the California Community College Classified Senate since 2011, Mr. Blake has served on several district shared governance committees and is an advisory member of the Peralta Retirement Board, representing SEIU 1021. Previously, Mr. Blake worked in the high-speed copier industry as a technician and a service manager. Originally from Rochester, New York, Mr. Blake moved to New Haven, Connecticut to attend Yale University. He has lived in Ariel, New Jersey, Santa Clarita, California, and finally the Bay Area since 2006. I am pleased to introduce the President of the Classified Senate, Mr. James. And I'd like to say a special thank you to Jeffrey Heyman, who has put this introduction of all these wonderful people together. I am not this clever on my own. So I'd like to now take a brief recess from the open session for 15 minutes to enjoy our reception, and then we'll resume our open session. Happy Peralta family. Peralta family, we are going to start our general session meeting, our open session meeting.
Okay, so I have a question with the,
So we'll be beginning our open session in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're now resuming our open session of the Peralta Community College District. And the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Galassa and seconded by trustee Riley. The next item is the public comment. Oh. All right, some of us had a little too much sugar.
Okay,
We're going to take a vote on the approval of the minutes. We've had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
I'm abstaining. Thank you.
Nikki's abstaining.
Well, I wasn't here for the open session last time.
Oh. Nikki's abstaining. The next item is the public communication. Do we have any public comment, Nikki?
We do, Madam President. Thank you. We have our new PFT president, Ed Jaramillo, and our classified Senate President, James Blake. Mr. Jaramillo, you're up.
Thank you. Got to learn the ropes here. Let's see. Good evening, President Brown and the trustees, and thank you again for the warm introduction. That was very good. Thank you. Again, I'm honored to be representing the faculty as the Peralta Federation of Teachers. And again, my name is Ed Jaramillo, for those of you who haven't met me. Looking forward to meeting all the board members and college presidents and also Chancellor. And I want to formally welcome, as the president of the PFT, our new Chancellor on behalf of the faculty. Thank you very much for joining our community. And the PFT is looking forward to working together with you to face some of the challenges confronting the Peralta Community College District. On behalf of the faculty, I'd also like to thank the Board of Trustees for voting in support of the contract. And also, we owe a big debt of gratitude to the negotiators. There's too many to name, but I'd like to mention Union Chief Negotiator Rick Greenspan and also Peralta negotiator Trudy Largen. Thank you for serving on that. I wasn't part of that team, but I know it takes a great deal amount of time and attention to detail. And thank you for that. I'd also like to thank the administration, payroll and staffers for those retro checks and parity checks that came out to the full-time faculty at the end of June. That was very welcome. I've received some comments from the members. And part-time faculty are still patiently waiting for their checks, and on behalf of them, I'm hoping that that payroll will be able to get those checks out at the end of July or at the latest August. They're very patiently waiting for that. So thanks for everybody. Thanks for the warm introduction. Appreciate that. Looking forward to working with everyone and following in Matt Goldstein's footsteps. He's done a wonderful job for the PFT. Again, I'm honored to be PFT serving the faculty. Thank you, and have a good day. Good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jaramillo and Mr. Blake.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Presidents, Board Executives, and the audience. The reason why I'm here today is to represent the Classified Senate. One of the concerns that we have overall is we begin to look at the accreditation reports is really to assess that we need to really get to actually doing the work of adhering to the standards. Oftentimes, we're very good at planning. We found this to be true when we got a report from Dr. Francine White in June 24th in 2014. But we need to work better at executing those plans and bringing them into reality and evaluating their effectiveness so that we can better serve our students. One of the concerns that we have district-wide for the Classified Senate is our staffing levels. We do have a lot of part-timers, but some of the full-time positions have not been restored. Part of the issue in terms of is doing really cost of ownership and doing staff analysis, especially in student service areas, that we have adequate staff to provide a timely processing of applications, financial aid, support to our students so that we can be more effective in that area. We also would like to set before you some of the goals that we have coming for this next year. Hopefully sometime in the fall, we wish to establish another Classified Matters 3 event where it's Classified Professional Development Day, which we set aside a day in which we provide needed professional development instruction and also training from the district. I will probably be engaging with the Chancellor and other members of the district staff in helping us in terms of helping with some of those programs that we are trying to devise to help us serve the students of this district better. And again, and lastly, I would like to welcome our new Chancellor to Peralta, and we look forward to engaging with you and reaching our mission objectives in serving our classified students, administration, staff, and faculty. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. Madam President, that is all the speaker cards that I have.
Thank you very much, Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen, and thank you to our speakers. We next have our Associated Student Government reports.
Hello, Board, Trustees, Chancellor Laguerre. I want to welcome you to the Peralta community. And my name is John Michael Cox. I'm the Student Body President at Laney College, and just want to let you guys know a little bit about what we're working on. We're in the process of forming some committees to get more students involved in the decision making. So if you guys have any template structures of committees that we can use and add to our structure, that'd be helpful. Another thing, I spoke with Trustee Gonzalez and also James Blake about the need for more training. So if you guys can help us or send someone to come help us to train us in things like civic engagement, leadership, reconciliation, and mediation. A lot of times we deal with students on student government deals with students on a daily basis, and sometimes there's like a lot of issues that they have to work through, and so I think it'd be great for us to be trained on mediation and things like that so we could better address their concerns. And we also, some of the issues that, or concerns that have been brought to me as president is there's not a lot of tutoring services that have been open to all students. I guess because of budget issues, the tutoring center that is on the third floor is now closed. So just wanted to bring that to your attention that a lot of students need like biology tutoring and other things like that. So hopefully we can work with the teachers to do student learning groups, study groups, so we can serve that need. And also, as you guys know, we're working on the Student Center upgrade. We recently spoke with the architects, and we gave them some of our ideas. They were open to hearing it, and the plans look good. So if you guys could keep us posted on that, on the plans, and let us know about how it's going so we could inform students. That'll be awesome. And then, yeah, just keep us in the loop about that. I know we have our trustees, so I'll be talking to those guys a lot more. And hopefully I'll be working with you guys in the future. And also, I just wanted to raise the our budget has been going down in the last 10 years. It used to be 107,000. Now it's I think we're gonna incur around 65,000 for the next operating fiscal period. So if you guys know or could help us figure out ways to raise the revenue for student government so we could put on better events and serve student needs and give donations to care and other things like that, that'd be really helpful. So that's just some of the stuff that we're working on over at Laney. And we also have some more, a senator and our secretary here to also speak to you guys. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Katrina Totten, and I'm the External Secretary for ASLC. Today we had a really great event in the Mindfulness Collective Garden with a Dharma teacher, and it was really a powerful community event. We're working on bringing more community discussions to the campus. We're also working on a sustainability committee, and I've met with Sustainable Peralta, Charles Neal, to get that started. So we'll be looking for anyone who is interested in being involved and helping us get that started. And yes, thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Justin Linfors. I am a senator of ASLC. And so last semester, we were working on spring projects. And one of my projects was a tournament. If anyone has ever heard of Smash Brothers, that was a tournament specific. But unfortunately I wouldn't know what was going on, and since the tournament took place in Berkeley City College, so I intend to check in with them on that. But as for tournaments, I would intend for plans for future tournaments, and such as times and places for these future events, and like what types of video games we will be playing. And also be advertising on these tournaments to, say, Facebook and everyone else in Laney and any other city, any other colleges. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other associated student government reports? So the next item on our agenda is the Chancellor's reports.
Good evening, everyone, members of the board, the public. It is indeed my honor to serve as your Chancellor. As I said in the release that I sent after the vote was taken, it is really a good honor for me to be in this particular position, and I look forward to working with everyone at our colleges as well as the district office to make sure that we provide the best access and success possibilities for our students. We will do the very best that we can so that we can move the district to the destination that we all want for our district to be at. Along that line, one of the first things that I did as Chancellor was to go and visit with the SCCJC, the Commission staff, to get a better idea about our issues in accreditation, especially when it comes to the district office. I have said many times that it is indeed important for the district office, for the Chancellor's office, to not jeopardize the accreditation status of our colleges. It's important for us to do the very best that we can to provide the best examples of leadership, service, stewardship, to make sure that our colleges do not get sanctions because of what we may not be doing. So it's a commitment that I want to make on behalf of our administration, and I want you to know that we are taking it very seriously. Tonight you're going to hear reports from all of our presidents. Therefore, I'm not going to spend much more time in terms of my report. I look forward to working with each and every one of you to be engaged in dialogues, to know what our issues are and how I can work together with our college presidents to make sure that we provide the best access and best success support for our students. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Dr. Laguerre. And Dr. Laguerre, would you like to introduce your college presidents or our college presidents?
I don't think they need any introduction from me, but I would like to ask Dr. Debbie Budd to go ahead and make and address the board on the accreditation issues.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Laguerre, Board of Trustees, Board President. We really appreciate having the opportunity to share with you tonight items about the accreditation report. And much as Chancellor Laguerre just mentioned, much to our disappointment, it was due to the district deficiencies that Berkeley City College was placed on warning. We have attached the letter for you, and you see in the last sentence of the second paragraph, it states clearly that that is why Berkeley City College was placed on warning. When they came to visit, we were thrilled with the work of our entire college community. The team was very impressed. They gave us 5 commendations and then highlighted the 8 recommendations of the district, which really gave us cause for pause, and we saw that when the report came out. The team did note the incredible work we're doing. They noted our enviable partnerships with the city and the UC close by and the Vision 2020. They noted the incredible work we've done with our CTE programs and partnerships. They noted the work of transfer. They commended our work of the Academic Senate with the counselors, and they also commended us for living our mission of transforming lives. A few things that they noted that I think is evidenced here when I even talked to a few board members, they noted that we could work on our publicity at Berkeley City College. And I think that's a piece that I think there's many community members currently and even faculty still, even though we're putting out a note, that people don't realize the reason for our sanction of the warning because of the district deficiencies. We are confident that the same way as we worked with the recommendations 5 years ago that actually came at the district level, that we will be able to address those again. Many of the recommendations have already been addressed at the district level. And when a college has a self-evaluation, it's really about how you can improve. So we obviously at Berkeley City College, not only at the district, can improve on our assessment methods for our student learning outcomes, and they also noted that we could ensure that we assess our processes. We have a very strong shared governance process at Berkeley City College. And we look forward to making it stronger by constantly assessing and then publishing those assessments. We have a lot to be thankful for with the great faculty and staff at Berkeley City College, and the fact that with the additional state funding, we're hiring new faculty and staff, and we're looking forward to everyone being involved in the process at the district level to help remove all of us from the warning sanction. As we know, the team will be coming back a little over a year from now. In October 2016 is when the report will be due, and I've attached for you a copy for easy accessibility of the corrective action plan that we've identified at Berkeley City College, and then highlighted each of the standards that were noted both at the college and the district. So we think it'll help with a really good map as we're working at the district level to correct the standards and the eligibility requirements that were noted. So it is always, when we're out in the community, I think the most important thing for all of the colleges to make sure we make clear is that we are still accredited, that we are still serving our students, and that we have incredible educational and instructional programs. And we will continue to do that, and we'll continue to address all of the recommendations that were noted to ensure that the district is removed from warning, as thus the college. Thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Budd, for that very organized, comprehensive, and well-put-together report.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
And Dr. Blake is not able to be with us. In her stead, she sent her vice president, who will address you.
There we go. Hi, I'm Tim Karras. Dr. Blake unfortunately could not be here tonight, so I'm Tim Karras, the Vice President of Instruction at the College of Alameda. So I'll be giving our presentation on the accreditation progress report at College of Alameda. So just Board Trustee Brown, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Laguerre, all the Peralta family, I'm very excited to be giving this to you tonight and showing the progress that COA is making on addressing all of our accreditation items. Let me get this going. Have to, there we go. So, like all of our sibling colleges, we've been working very hard on accreditation this whole year and before, putting together our plan through the site visit. And then even after the site visit ended, we got to work right away. For all folks, I think we can all say there are some common values why we value accreditation as a community, and some of those are to examine our institutional effectiveness, do gap analysis of what we do and what we can do better, and most importantly really is to come together and develop a collective vision and purpose and strategy to advance our college, to strengthen our community. That's why we exist. And that's what accreditation hopefully will help us do. So that's how we view it at COA. And so that was our philosophy going into it, and that continues to be our philosophy to today and into the future. After the visit in March, we got together right after March 9th. That was the day the visit left. And we immediately got together as a team, and we met and started saying, how can we move the college forward? And the first thing we did is we had a meeting with the whole college. We had a town hall meeting with the college to bring us all together and sort of debrief and just talk about it, because a lot of times dialogue really helps. And so that's what we started with in March, and that started us giving the impetus for something that we call at COA the Blueprint for Excellence, which lists every recommendation that we have at the college and strategies and timelines on how we're going to address all those recommendations. In your packet, you have a fairly large blue book, and on page 10 in that, if you flip to it, it is tabbed, it has our blueprint. So similar, I think, to what I saw from our colleague at Berkeley City, it lists each recommendation with how we're going to make sure it happens and what standards it relates to and move us forward. And so it'll even show that some are actually completed for us already. So thank you very much. In April, when you reaffirmed our mission statement, that was one of our recommendations. So thank you, it's done. So we're just moving forward. And after that time, we continued to have dialogue with our campus. That's really the important piece. So all through the spring semester, we got together with all of our constituency groups and talked about them. So this is where we're moving, using the blueprint and the strategies as our focus. And that led us into June, when we got the final determination from ACCJC. And at that point, of course, people had questions again. And so what we did is to respond to that, we created another document. It's much smaller than the big blue one. It's just two-sided, and it's in your packet. And it's basically questions and answers for the college, really geared for staff at that point, because in June, mostly it's staff that are around every day, meeting students who are coming into A&R, coming to the bursar's office and whatnot, and some faculty. So we met with them all. We got all of our staffs together in the administrative building. We brought them all together the day after, and we talked about it and said, if someone has a basic question, you say, we are an affirmed college. We're accredited. Are all of our quality services and programs still count? Your degrees count? Your units count? We have it covered. Don't worry. Come to COA or any of the Peralta schools. And so we went together with that with staff, and that really helped them process it. And we have this available to them for they can keep it. Because sometimes you just need something by your desk just to know everything is okay. And that's what this document was meant to do, and it's really done it well. And then following that, we got together for a luncheon that we called our Planning and Accreditation Luncheon to really launch this upcoming academic year. And that brought together all of our administrative team, plus the leaders from our collective bargaining units on campus, and all the Senate presidents, so Academic Senate, Classified Senate, Student Leadership. We all got together in a room over lunch, because food always helps things, I think, a little bit. And we talked about it, where we're going this year, and commitments to ourselves, because we realized only committing to ourselves and to our students can we really move forward in serving our students. So that's what we just did a couple weeks ago, and it was a very good process to get us moving forward. And now, from today in June or July, it's July, in August, what we're going to be doing is the booklet that you have is kind of fresh off the presses. We just got it on Monday, and we'll be giving it to the entire campus, partly in print or digitally. It'll be on our website at our convocation in late August. And so what this does, it goes over in much more detail. It's about 40 pages long, so it has our blueprint in it, but also lists all the standards again. So just in case someone wants to, had something dealing with standard 1A, 2B, and someone wants to know what that standard is, we said, well, then they can just flip to the back and look up that standard, and that's what it means. Because once again, it's framing for folks to move us forward, I think is the most important piece. When they don't know, you get scared. And so this is just a piece of knowledge for folks. And so we'll hand that out to the college. And then also at the end of our opening week on that Friday, we're really looking forward to a keynote speaker that is coming to our college, Dr. Pedro Noguera, who'll be addressing student effectiveness for colleges that serve under-resourced communities. So I think that'll be a powerful message at the end of that week as we go into an academic year about all the good that we can have as a college and as a community moving forward, and in meeting all of our recommendations that we have. And then in the fall and in spring, because in the fall we're going to be completing our Blueprint for Excellence, so we're right on target to do that. In the spring, that's the time to refine and review again all of our strategies to make sure their processes are working and reevaluation. So when we write that follow-up report that's due at the end of summer, we're ready to go. And so we all have it very well paced out and timelines, and we're dedicated and we'll get it done. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is really impressive. The book, this is really impressive. I'm just
Fun reading. It's really fun reading, let me tell you.
Just really happy at the response, and it's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In order? Jeff, could you? Good evening, Chancellor. Good evening, Chancellor and board members. This evening, I just really want to give you a brief outline of what we've been doing, just like our colleagues have mentioned. Once our visiting team left, we also realized that we had some deficiencies that we were going to have to address. But when we received our letter that officially stated our position, it did reaffirm, again, that we remain accredited, and we, again, express that to our community. ACCJC imposed the status of probation for Merritt College. And what that means is that we have 12 months to correct our deficiencies. And in those 12 months, basically, we are going to get busy in writing an extensive report, an outline. And what we found and what the team indicated to us, I will tell you, is that Merritt College is doing all the things that they indicated in the deficiencies, but we neglect to document and make public, as stated by Berkeley City sometimes, that we neglect to put it on the web where it's transparent and available for everybody to access. So that's going to be a major process for us, is just documenting and placing it on the web so everybody can read it at any time when they are interested in knowing what's going on at Merritt. So you can see that a team will come back shortly in October when we submit our report, and the commission will be reviewing and making a new decision on us on January of 2017. So I neglected to indicate that we had 2 accommodations. They really acknowledged 2 major areas. One, our landscape horticulture area, and the second was our student government, our student participation. They really saw our students involved not only in their instructional programs, but in the support services and in governance. They saw them involved in all the committees and could acknowledge the various activities. So I'm sorry I didn't put that up in my presentation. But we do have 9 recommendations, and we have 13 of our own self-improvement plans that we felt we needed to work on. Luckily, some of the 13 are part of the 9. So as you can tell, we were being very genuine in our assessment as we were looking at our quality effectiveness of our institution. We have 8 district recommendations that we plan to continue to work with the district. So our focus, let me just tell you without having to tell you specifically each one. I think in your packet I put in the letter which addresses each one. But this is what they've said: the systematic, mission-driven, documented processes. It's all about being consistent with documenting our processes and bringing it back to the mission. The ability to be able to document what is our student achievement, what is our standard, and what are we determining when we assess that standard. And linking our processes. So again, we're doing program review in one end, we're doing assessment in somewhere else, but are they linked? Are we doing the resource allocation all linked together? So once we just connect the dots together, we'll be fine. The delineation of roles is an important one. It is one that has to do with the district and making sure we understand what is responsibility of the college versus what's responsibility of the district. And then assessing, you heard earlier, classified Senate indicating the issue of adequate staffing. And we were noted that we needed to make an assessment if we had adequate staffing in regards to classified as well as faculty. So that's a determination assessment we're going to have to make. And then our personnel evaluations, again, being consistent with those evaluations through our processes. We've adopted, as part of our plan, strategic plan, is principles for institutional effectiveness. So you will find that we are working collectively, teamwork, making sure all the participants from the various represented groups are involved, the documentation of process. And when we mention mixed media, that means that it's not only putting it on Word and putting it on the web, but if it means videotaping, that's what we're going to be able to do. We're using CC Confer to manage some of our meetings, because that's not only documenting our process, but making accessible for those that cannot make the meeting, they can join us via the phone. Collaboration. We definitely are going to be doing a lot of collaborative work with the district personnel as we all together try to resolve our deficiencies that were noted. A commitment to continuous improvement. That's what we have set our journey to be, is that we will continue to improve and make that our goal. Recognition and value of the contributions. This takes a lot of extra work beyond being in the classroom, beyond seeing students and counseling them. You have to step away from that work for a moment and start evaluating what the institution as a whole collectively is doing for the benefit of student success. So we want to acknowledge those that are contributing and making that effort. And then partner engagement. We're very fortunate to be selected as one of the participants in the statewide initiative for institutional effectiveness initiative that's going out in the state. So we will have another team coming out to visit us in this fall. So that team will actually assist us in affirming that we're on the right track. So by the time they finish, we will be able to make any adjustments or tweaks in the spring to our response to ACCJC that we should finalize in the spring for us. So we're very fortunate that we're able to do that. One of the things that we've decided to adopt is, if you're familiar with the statewide institutional research organization, is they adopted the 6 factors of student success, and we've adopted them for our success in going through the reaccreditation process and responding to them. So you will find us reaffirming each of those factors as we go through our own process. So right now, just this month, I provided you a sample of the communication that we provided the college with the recommendations. We do have a detailed plan. I did not provide that in your packet, but we will be providing that to our chancellor and others that we're working with. And whenever you need a report, we will be able to provide that to you as well. But you can see that we have met not only with our administrative team, but our governance team leaders in order for them to contribute and outline the process that they would like to see us participate in this coming year. So by the end of this month, in the next 2 weeks, we should have all the members to what we call the special task force that is responding to what I call the 9 recommendations, and remember, the 13 self-improvement plans that we identified for ourselves. So that is our process at Merit, and I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Dr. Umbrice Galaviz.
All right.
President, trustees, our chancellor, and welcome, Chancellor, again. The Accrediting Commission for Community and Junior Colleges really reflects the body of our peers. They visited us in the spring. They looked at our institutional self-evaluation report that reflected years of work by a remarkable team of faculty, classified staff, and administrators with significant student input at the program review level all the way up to shared governance groups. As a result of their visit, they walked away identifying 6 commendations at the college level and 2 very important ones at the district level. At the college level, and I'll be very brief, they highlighted our career and technical education programs. And for our viewing audience, many of our communities know that we are a hub for manufacturing education, industrial and advanced. We're a National Center for the National Science Foundation with our Building Efficiency for a Sustainable Tomorrow Center. They looked at those programs and they said, these are some of the state-of-the-art types of efforts, curricula, technology, and we have to acknowledge what Laney is doing that's putting not only Laney, but this district on the map beyond just the region nationally, but also internationally. They also highlighted our foundation skills efforts in ESL. Without going into all the details, they really honored the fact that you could see a demonstrable change in students' behavior and, most importantly, outcomes as a result of the interventions, the significant changes that occurred in ESL. The transition from ESL to college level, major spike in the right direction. They commended us for our spirit of cooperation, dedication to students, which they found to be pretty replete in their conversations with over 60 people in 3 days. They identified Laney as having what they called an organic family, an environment where students were engaged and considered to be the center of activity. And they saw that in our dance study abroad, taking students to Ghana and to Cuba and elsewhere, leveraging what we do here in this district very well, and same can be said for Merritt, College of Alameda, and Berkeley City College. They acknowledged our civic engagement. They acknowledge our diverse workforce. They certainly, as it relates to the district recommendation, were very quick to commend us for a robust data system. At the same time, I highlight the fact that we have a rather rich, diverse set of employees that mirrors our students, and that we really are careful and intentional in that regards. Even given that, and a lot of the work that they acknowledge that Laney has done, they identified 3 recommendations at the college level, one of which we took care of pretty quickly, and thanks to the commission, they honored that work. So there's 2 recommendations outstanding, one related to integrated planning and evaluation, and the other related to learning outcomes at the program level. And it's really, as my colleagues have already conveyed, I won't be too redundant, it's about documenting. It's about having the evidence so that the external community can see that evidence that reflects our continuous engagement in quality improvement. Then they went on to indicate that there were 8 district recommendations. And I won't be repetitive, but I'll say that there's no doubt already our district has made significant progress, and some of the recommendations are addressed, quite frankly. And over the course of the next year, the college will be working with the district team led by our chancellor to ensure that we have a plan, a path forward that will allow us to efficiently address each one of those recommendations that are still outstanding. What our trustees and our chancellor received was a very brief document from Laney that just highlights an action planning agenda. And we'll have a much more robust in terms of the detailed steps it will take as a result of having substantive conversations that the chancellor will lead in terms of the district recommendations. The good news is that the visiting team and the commissioners themselves reaffirmed the fact that we're providing quality educational programs and services. And so that's not in question, and it's important for our audience to know that. There are great folks here at the district level and at the colleges, each of the colleges, that are doing remarkable things on behalf of this community. And so it's very important to lead and end with that. Lead and end with the fact that we're providing quality educational programs and services, and some programs at each of our colleges are considered some of the state-of-the-art offerings in this region. And so with that, I close unless there's questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Webb. Thank you, Chancellor. Feels better already. The next item on our agenda is the Board of Trustee reports. We'll start with Trustee Bonilla.
Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to also publicly welcome Dr. Chancellor Laguerre. Welcome to Peralta, and thank you, college presidents, for your reports. I agree with Trustee Brown that you make it all sound very, very simple. I know there's lots of hard work ahead of you, and I support and encourage the work that you are doing in order to meet the timeliness of this accreditation report back. I also want to thank the student reports that came out earlier this evening. They're very welcoming always to hear your enthusiasm and your activism on campus. In addition, this past week, I also had the opportunity to visit one of our training centers here locally through the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. They invited me to come out and tour the nation's first Zero Net Energy Training Center. And I know that we have a partnership and work closely with the training program and our electrical program, in particular at the College of Laney. And if those faculty, staff, and student have not visited that training center, I encourage all of us at some point to visit. This is a fascinating center. They took a warehouse, a commercial building, 40,000 square feet, and converted it into a zero net, meaning that they produce with windmills, solar energy. They produce as much energy as the building consumes. Absolutely fascinating. I already took notes as I was walking through in terms of energy efficient processes with just turning on lights and types of computer, desktop. And so just, again, a fascinating experience. And that was, I'm also thinking that particular tour was really with the thought process on how to create better partnerships with our existing training facilities that are in our community, how the community colleges and the school districts come together and work. So I'll be working closely with them in terms of recruitment into that program and how the partnership with Peralta will be developed. So that's it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And from our student trustee? Trustee Heisch?
No, I have nothing to report.
Trustee Handy?
Hi. In the past couple of weeks, there was a recognition for employees for years of service, and through communication gaps and schedules, none of the trustees were able to make it, but it was not an intentional piece. And again, I just want to have an opportunity to thank all of our employees who were honored for their years of service, and so sad that we couldn't be there, but so glad to have such loyal people working for the district. And congratulations to all of them. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I would like to congratulate our new leadership team here. Madam President, I appreciated your introduction to each of the members of the team and giving just a brief insight into their backgrounds. It makes the value of them so much more apparent to all of us. And so we welcome this team together, starting with Joël Laguerre. One of the first things you did, which reaffirmed in my mind that our choice was really a wise one, was the fact that you went right out to, I guess we might say, the devil, and talked directly to Barbara Bino to find out what's going on and how we can fix it. Did I say devil? I really apologize for that. I meant it metaphorically. Cleavon, I need your help here. They don't understand creative writing and wild metaphors and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I really appreciate that. And coupled with that was the very aggressive stance all the presidents and their representative, Tim, you all demonstrated very clearly that you're aware of the significance of it and are really digging into justifying the changes that you're about to make. I think that that's wonderful. I do have some things that I want to introduce to the board. These concern my position with the State Board of Trustees, but I'm going to resume. They're complex. I'm going to bring them up in one of our workshops that will be coming up in the immediate future. And basically what we're attempting to do now, instead of just having individual districts appoint a member to the State Board, they're now going to require the individual members to create a kind of what shall we say, a local organization that will encompass the leadership of several other community colleges and high schools and the like. And I'll talk to the Madam President here about it. I think that's it. It concludes my report, and let's move on.
Thank you very much, Trustee Galassa. Trustee Gonzalez-Yuen.
Thank you very much. I also want to just echo my colleagues' welcome of our new chancellor. I think we've made an important choice here, and I think the other thing that Trustee Galassa if we're going to be successful in a district, it's going to be a team effort. And I'm just especially pleased to welcome Cleavon Smith and Ed Jaramillo and James Blake. You're an old warrior here. I don't think you need welcoming, but we'll welcome you back anyway, because I think you've done just amazing work helping us understand the perspective of classified workers, which is just vital to our understanding of the baseline of the district. Also, really appreciate ASLC President Cox coming out. I know it's summer, maybe you're taking summer classes, but one way or another, bringing your team out, I think, is important. It's a reminder of why we're here, focusing on students and your need for support as student government leaders. I think we're all here to do that. I think I'm looking forward to the coming year. Right now, I myself am immersed in summer teaching, drowning in students, trying to help them stay afloat in that process. But it sure is a lot of fun working with students all the time, and doing that just reminds me of the importance of our work here. So with that, I think I'll take a pass and keep moving along. Here we go.
Trustee Abuyan.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to thank and congratulate and welcome all of our leaders and for all the hard work, and Dr. Laguerre as our new chancellor. The other thing is I want to announce that we're planning the Peralta Student Council retreat, and so I wanted to welcome all our Board of Trustees. If you'd like to be part of that and what we may cover the topics, or even be present so that all of our student governments can be present and know who our board is, I welcome you all to attend that, and I'll make sure you stay updated with the date and location. The other thing is that we didn't have an Associate Student College of Alameda representative tonight, but I want to let you know that they met twice already, and they're electing their president. And I also wanted to thank the president of the ASLC, John Michael Cox. I wrote down some of your ideas, and I want those present at our PSC too. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Abuyan. Trustee Withrow.
Just briefly, I'd like to, again, welcome our new chancellor, our new leadership, and the new leadership team that's been introduced tonight. It was mentioned in the resume that our president spoke about that Dr. Laguerre is a commander in the Air Force, and I'm not sure what that means. But he needs to recognize also that this region, both in a long, long history, is a Navy, Coast Guard, and Marine Corps area. And so we're going to have to find a role for you, and I'm not sure whether we can call it a commander, but we'll find something that we can get you incorporated into our region.
I'm looking forward to that, but most importantly, looking forward to exchanging the jokes between the Air Force and the Navy in the near future. We'll just do that in private, just the two of us.
Thank you very much, Trustee Withrow. And I, again, on behalf of all of us, echo the welcome. We're very pleased to have Dr. Laguerre and our new leadership team here with our new Academic Senate President, the Classified Senate President, our new student government leaders, our PFT President. I think we're going to have a very prosperous and progressive year ahead of us, so I look forward to that. And thank all of you for your participation, and thank Dr. Laguerre for his leadership. I have just a brief report. We've been working at the trustee level in the state of California to have joint caucus before our trustee meeting in November of the Veterans Caucus, the African American Caucus, the Latino Caucus, and the Asian Pacific Islander Caucus. And we have had a few of teleconference meetings. So we're working on, as a base, how to promote student equity and student success. And there'll likely be a joint caucus meeting before our November meeting of the trustees at the California Community College League convention. So we're hoping that we could join the caucuses and in support of our students, and particularly for a district like Peralta. We serve so many students and so many communities that benefits us. We really like the joint caucus idea because then we get everybody else's ideas to bring home to our family that has many different flavors. So it's something that I think really suits us here at Peralta and that we can benefit from. And fortunately, we're in on the development of that. So I'll keep you guys posted as we get closer to the caucus, joint caucus meeting and those student equity issues. So the next item on our agenda is the our district academic senate report.
Okay, so thank you, President Brown, and I just wanted to also extend my thanks to all of our trustees and our college presidents and everyone who is here for just your interest and your dedication to our district. I just wanted to say that perhaps we can work with Dr. Laguerre. Commodore? Would Commodore work? Commodore, I was an aircraft carrier battle group, so I think Commodore is a little bit more appropriate than Commander in the Navy. So, but I will say, while faculty are on break, quote unquote break, faculty are working hard and diligently to hire a great number of new faculty members that we will take on in the fall. Upwards of, I think, over 35, hopefully around 40 new faculty members throughout the district in this coming year. That is tremendous because it does it helps us in so many different ways to have more professional expertise on our campuses, to have more engagement and an investment in our campuses. So thanks to everybody who has worked to make that happen, especially our HR staff who have been just phenomenal in making all of this work well. Thank you. Also faculty have been attending the State Academic Senate Curriculum Institute, I'm sorry. And so there will be many innovations and reports coming back over the next couple of months out of some of the developments at the state level that we definitely want to be ahead of the game in the district. As a new District Academic Senate President, I am looking forward to working with you all, and I'm also looking forward to working with my colleagues throughout the district, hopefully making a little bit more presence at the campuses and the colleges. Just noting that part of some of the recommendations from ACCJC for the colleges around integrated planning and the Academic Senate's role in developing processes for integrated planning is significant, and I want to make sure that my colleagues at the campuses know that they have our district support, as well as to know that we have this real strong integrative approach to that planning that's going to feed up from the colleges to the district. And it's really important that everyone is aware that in our engagement in that process, we are engaged, proactively so as to propel the excellence that exists at our campuses, to make known the excellence that exists at our campuses, and to support ourselves where we may not be as excellent as we desire, and to engage in those processes for that, and not necessarily to stall potential excellence, in innovation. So I just wanted to keep it brief tonight and just say that I'm really excited and happy to be here because I know I stand on the shoulders of my wonderful colleagues, and so it's not something that is not a burden that I individually carry, and looking forward to representing my colleagues. And going back to my naval reference, anybody who's ever been at a port visit when a carrier group comes into town knows that there are sailors who are going out to hit the town, but there are also many sailors who are on port making sure that the logistics are followed through, and we're taking on all of the food and the supplies and the mail. And so it's this work hard, play hard mentality, and I'm definitely hoping that we can work hard together and enjoy it and play hard together.
Thank you very much. I like that report. The next item we have is our consent calendar. Do we have?
I move the consent calendar, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar. Are there all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. I do believe
That's it.
that that is it.
Bring it
Oh, do we have an action item? Wait, we've got to get all the way back to the end of the agenda.
Two-page matter.
Ah, yes, we've got our action item, which is item number 21. Consider approval of Resolution 15-1602, approving 4 documents necessary to resell the Series B2 bonds to the public at a lower interest rate. And the presenter is Interim Vice Chancellor Renee.
Move approval. For discussion.
A second.
Do we have a second?
And that's for discussion, Vice Chancellor Renee. You may stand and take the podium.
Good evening, Board. Tonight, I have a very quick, brief presentation to go over the process in which we are about to ask you to take in order to refinance or remarket the B2 section series of the bonds. I wanted to give a quick overview of exactly where we, how this program started, where we're at within the program, and then the steps that we are recommending we take in order to address the B2 swaps. Back in 2005, the district issued a little bit over $153 million worth of bonds. Those bonds were in 2 groups there, as you can see, the $20 million for Series A bonds, which were at a current interest rate, and then there was a little bit over $133 million that were broken out into 6 Series B1 through B6 series, and they were capital appreciation bonds. Beginning in 2010. Each series was started the process of converting into a variable interest rate bond. In 2006, the district, there were swaps that were issued that match the series of the B1 through B6 bonds. And what this actually does, it fixed, it gave like what's called a synthetic fixed rate on the bonds. So it's a difference between LIBOR, and we'll get into that a little bit down the road. But the next steps that were taken is in 2006, the board approved refinancing a portion of those 2005 bonds. It was about $8.8 million, and they were refinanced into coupons that were at 6.25%. And then in 2009, we did a refunding of those bonds to the tune of about $48 million, and that was the refunding, and it was the, had we not done that refunding, we would have had a default rate of about 17%. And so that was to avoid that default rate going into motion. Then in 2011, we restructured that debt because that 2009 service, the refunding of the 2009, had a payment that was coming due that the general fund could not sustain. And so we refunded those bonds, giving relief to the general fund. And those bonds that we refunded have a final maturity date of 2031. And at that time, the B1 swaps, which we are making our final payments on this month actually, was orphaned, and we had to continue to pay that B1 swamp. So where we are now, if you recall, back on June 2nd, we brought you some documents to start a process, and we approved those documents. And what we were doing with those documents is the B2 bonds, if we do nothing, will, as we talked about earlier, they'll have the default rate. They'll go to a default rate of about 17%. So what we're moving forward with doing is those bonds will become an interest rate that will change weekly. We approved the documents to start the utilization of a letter of credit the process to utilize a letter of credit from Barclays. We will keep our swap, keep doing this, so the synthetic rate will fall into place. And you approved the 4 documents to start that process. And you can see what they were there. On August 5th, what will happen is the B2 bonds will, if we do absolutely nothing, once again, will default to a 17% interest rate for the next 5 years. And the B2 swap goes into effect. And what that means is that every 5 weeks, we pay Morgan Stanley the difference between LIBOR, which is an average that is used in London for it's a benchmark, for interbank interest rate changes. So when they're going to borrow between each other, that's the rate that they use. and 5.158%. The first payment comes due, and it's approximately a little bit over $183,000. And every 5 weeks, we cut a check to Morgan Stanley. That amount decreases as time goes on because it's based on the outstanding principal of the swap. So our plan of finance for the B2 series, once again, is we will remarket those bonds that are coming due using the letter of credit from Barclays. And this letter of credit is good through years 2020. The interest rate, as we said earlier, will change weekly, so it will be a variable rate. The bonds are callable at the district's option, so we have the ability to call those bonds and pay them off should interest rates go to a rate that's higher than higher than the rate of the returns that we're earning in our trust. So if our trust interest rate is lower than the bond rate that we could be paying, we have the ability to call those bonds. There's no prepayment penalty for the district, and there's no acceleration over the current amortization schedule. The B2 series debt will be addressed in 5 years. So unlike the B1 tranche, we are actually addressing this and getting it paid off and not stretching it out over time. So the documents that are before you tonight there are 4 documents that are in the resolution. It's the reoffering circular, which is basically the official statement. It's a disclosure document that we need in order for the investors to buy the bonds. So for the investors to be able to buy the bonds. The broker-dealer agreement, which is the agreement with Barclays. The remarketing agent agreement, which is allowing Barclays to sell the bonds. And then the bond purchase agreement, which is the agreement for Barclays to buy the bonds. We will have 2 additional steps. First, Moody's and Standard & Poor's will issue a ratings for the transaction. The ratings will be based on the letter of credit, which will be Barclays ratings. So the bonds are supported by Barclays. They are basically like standing in front of us supporting those documents, or those bonds. And on August 5th, the B2 series will be bought by Barclays. One of the areas on June 2nd that was asked was exactly what is it going to cost, and this is an initial breakdown of the estimated costs. The cost of issuance is right around, we're estimating to be about $1 million with all of the lawyers and all of the financial advisors and everyone that's dedicated a lot of time and effort and sincerity in making sure that this deal goes through smoothly. The first year, our principal payment is about $6.8 million. The interest, as you can see, is $100,000, the other fees, and then the swap payment. The swap payment is paid out of, currently, the swap payment that we've paid up for the past 5 years has been paid out of our special reserve for OPEB fund and is not a hit to the general fund. But we wanted to include it here so you would see the total cost. So the total cost for the first year will be about $10 million with an average annual cost of about $9 million over the next 4 years, giving a total cost of the 5 years of right around $46 million. The interest rates you can see there, the total expected cost of interest is about 5.6%. And the question was asked, well, how does that compare to the interest that we're actually earning or the gains that we're earning in our trust? And it's averaged about 5.9%. So we're still a little bit below what the actual earnings expectations are for our trust. We included some definitions here so that if you were reviewing the documents and you needed to have any clarity, there's some definitions here. So it's a very brief, very high-level overview, but it's the intent of where we're going and what we would like to do and what we're asking your approval to move forward with. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor Renee. Do we have any questions?
Call for question.
We've had a call for the question. We have a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar, the action item. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Before we adjourn, I'd like to just make one correction to the minutes. I do believe that we had listed the student trustees as still being Oliver and Raleigh at the June 23rd meeting, and we had already had our new trustees sworn in, Abuyan and Haish. In fact, I think we partied, didn't we? On the induction of the new student trustees. So I just like to make that one correction to the minutes. Do we need a motion for that?
Necessary correction.
Necessary corrections. And then we have the announcements.
Thank you, Madam President. The next regular board meeting will be held in 2 weeks right here in the district office boardroom on July 28th. I'll remind people the district and colleges are currently on a 4-day, 10-hour-a-day work schedule and closed on Fridays and weekends through July 24th. So don't show up on the colleges looking for help on Friday. It'll be very hard for you to find help, or even in the district office. So Monday through Thursday works really well, but Fridays not so much. And finally, the board welcomes and congratulates again Chancellor Laguerre on his first board meeting, and also welcomes again Presidents Smith, Blake, Jaramillo, and also I'll add President Cox to the current and future year. That's it, Madam President.
Meeting adjourned.
Nice job.